Well, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Hawkshair, on the show this evening. It's London and Bridgeman. Evening, boys and girls.
Evening, Hawkshair. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, everyone. Hope you're all well.
Oh, can I say a huge good evening to you two guys? Sorry, guys and girls. And massive good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in on every platform all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Very, very happy day.
Is there any truth you're just back for the match, Bridge? You've spent that much time in the subway.
I'll tell you what. Yes. The quick answer to that is yes. I thought the world was coming to an end last night. I don't want to bore everybody, but the subway was knackered last night for the fourth time in a month. Shocking.
All right. Bridgeman, see, when I was on the phone to Gio this morning, well, lunchtime, talking about the game, guess who he was talking to?
Tell me.
Oh, no, I cannot say.
It must be South Side or something like that.
No, I cannot say.
No
Any
skipper.
ideas?
No skipper.
Any ideas, Linda?
Oh, that would be me.
Oh, no.
Yes, and if Gio's listening, can we thank him
it?
for the photograph, the opportunity, and he was very nice to us, and yes, got a nice wee photograph with the boss today, and he was absolutely lovely.
There's an awful lot of people going to be very, very jealous at Linda. Very jealous.
Of Giovanni having a photo took with Linda. Yes, you're right. They're a little bit jealous. Brilliant. Made your day, did it, Linda?
Oh, it made our afternoon, yes. It was like...
that'll last her a year, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely, Bridge, yes. It took us about half an hour to calm down, and we had to have a French martini to help us on the
way. She made her way right to the toast and says, what can you do with this Stevie G?
Oh, yes, exactly.
There'll be letters to the Rangers board if you ever think about selling them. Certainly. No, Linda, right. No, you're not doing that.
Right, before we get your views on the game, Linda, I think we'll have the view for the Bridge, if that's all right for you, and then we'll get the phone lines open to all these happy bears. Is that all right?
Yeah, sounds great, Ox. Looking forward to it.
Okay, let's have the view from the Bridge.
Can take anymore. View from the Bridge. Can take anymore.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to A View from the Bridge, covering last night's game against St Johnstone at Ibrox, Wednesday the 15th of December 2021, SPFL Premier League game. It was my first game in a wee while, and I bumped into Skipper and Kellack at the new bistro, just missed Big Stevie, and it was great to see them. I also liked the sight of the new Edmonton house, a bit of construction going on there. It's looking great. Skipper brought me a wee prezi, a small bar of Toblerone. Thanks, Skipper. I will enjoy it. So we'll see how we go on with that. By the way, on to the game. As expected for this game, St Johnstone started the game with a 10-man defensive lineup and remained like that for most of the game, apart from a few occasions when we stopped pressing the high, which gave them their chance to venture into our half. It has to be said that I am mystified that they finished with 11 men. Could easily have been more sending offs. In fact, and Mr. McCarthy and Mr. Bryson could both have been sent off twice themselves. I only got booked poor refereeing for me. The game, from the start, and there's no much in this, from the start, Rangers pressed them high, forced them into the most defensive they could be, 10 across the box at times. Rangers played some brilliant passing moves, which caused them headaches. Well done to the team. This pressure by us brought a host of chances in front of goal. Chances were blocked, keeper saved, we missed. Ryan Kent and Rebo were in top form, which was great to see. And right through to the 42nd minute, a corner from the left by Borna, lovely high ball for Golson. He gets his head to it and tries to get it in at the far post. And there was Alfie standing right there at the back post to nod it into the net. Fantastic stuff. Well done, Alfie. 1-0 for the famous. We deserved the lead. Better team by 100 miles. In the second half, 1-0 half time. Rangers appeared to allow St Johnstone the possession as they backed off at times, but defended well. Rangers got possession into McGregor, passes to Bassey, who finds Golson, onto Tav, finds Kamara, onto Morelos, who wall passes with Aribo, and back to Morelos, who runs into the box, finds a great pass, and gives it over to Kent. Kent just pops it into the net. 2-0 for the famous. What a fantastic passing sequence by our team. Just magic. Don't think there's another team in the league could do anything like it. Rangers ran St Johnstone ragged when they had possession, and then they would back off and let them come into the game. And there was only one or two times they actually got in our box. In my opinion, we deserved this win by night and day. We were night and day between the two teams. Full time, 2-0. Thoroughly enjoyed that game. Some tremendous passing by our team at speed. All players have to be commended for it. Well done to the club, management, coaches, players, a whole lot, all the fans. Fantastic showing. Player by player ratings. McGregor 6, nothing to do the whole game virtually. Tavernier 7, Colts 8, Bassett 8, Barisic 7, Kamara 8, Arfield 7, Aribo 9, Hadji 8, Morelos 8, and Kent 9. Man of the match, Aribo, very, very closely followed by Kent, Kamara, and Golson. Okay, neither of the four really. Possessions, 70% Rangers, 30% St Johnstone. Total shots, 27 Rangers, 5 St Johnstone. Shots on target, 8 Rangers, 1 St Johnstone. Corners, 7 Rangers, 3 St Johnstone. Fouls, 7 Rangers, 11 St Johnstone. And that's the end of A View from the Bridge.
View from the bridge. Can take anymore. View from the bridge. Can take anymore.
Well, thanks for that, Bridge. Thanks for that. Linda, Joe Aribo last night.
Yeah, outstanding, wasn't he, Ox? He's just absolutely flourishing under Gio. He was probably one of the most consistent players anyway, you know, during this season, but he just seems to have taken his game to another level. And that ball he just plucked out the sky, it was just something else, wasn't it? But yeah, Joe Aribo, he's just playing so well just now, really enjoying watching him.
Not only did they pluck it out of the sky, he danced by the ball when the player when he brought it down. Absolutely outrageous.
Absolutely.
That ball was as high as a Peter McCloy kick. There you go. That was how high it was. And he pulled that ball down stone dead, and did what he did. He was just out of this world stuff.
Yep. Fantastic. Well, we played well last night. If I've any complaints, then it's not a complaint about the performance. We should have scored more goals, Linda.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And Bridge alluded to that during his view there. Particularly earlier on in the first half, I thought we created some really good chances. Kent had a couple, didn't he? A couple of shots at goal. We obviously had a few other opportunities as well, but it was very difficult trying to break them down. But yeah, I would have liked us, and probably everybody else would have, to get a goal a bit earlier, Ox, because you just never know what happens in these games. Their goalkeeper had a few good saves as well, but it was a really good goal, taking the lead from a set piece, considering all the other pressure that we had. But sometimes that's what it takes, and Alfie's in the right position, and he seems to have got his mojo back as well, doesn't he, Alfie?
Could he have made that second goal 5 or 6 weeks ago?
No, I wouldn't have seen that burst of pace. Would you have, Bridge?
I actually think he looked about maybe a half a stone or a stone lighter.
Yeah.
And the guys were all commenting on it. He looks a lot more lithe, shall we say, and very quick. To me, he's back to where he was maybe 18 months ago. That's what he looks like to me. And this can only be, again, coming from, what do you call him, Giovanni and Bronkhurst. It can only be coming from him and his coaching staff, getting them down to that level. It was lovely. He absolutely loves his game now. He loves his game. He's no grumpy. He's no make stupid faces, smile across the face. And when he made that goal for Kent, he was parading around got the broom on. He's parading around. Brilliant stuff. Oh, sorry, at the Scotland. 2 arms in the air. Look at me. Fantastic.
Yeah, I enjoyed Morelos, I enjoyed Kent. I enjoyed Glenn Kamara as well, Linda.
Yeah, particularly in the first half. I think we had been a wee bit picky, I suppose, but he did kind of give the ball away a few times. There was one of those, but he was given the ball and then he was pressurised in the second half. So it maybe wasn't entirely Kamara's own fault, you know. But yeah, he's playing really well too. Big Bassey as well, Ox. What can we say about him? You know,
cult hero.
Absolutely, and you know, you've hats off to him because you know, he's slotted in there, and he's, you know, we've got a natural left-sided centre back sitting on the bench who is obviously can't get in ahead of Bassey. I think you've got to give him lots of plaudits, and I know I listened a wee bit to the show last night. You know, I know we're thinking that when he's coming out with the ball, he's maybe not, you know, looking for forward passes yet, but I think that'll come, and we've got to give the guy a bit of time because he is trying, and see when he comes out with the ball, they don't know whether to go to him or sit back. So that's another part of his game he'll probably develop, but I've been really pleased with Bassey. I think he's done tremendously, I really do.
There was one thing that disappointed me last night, Bridgeman. It was a couple of times when Connor Golston's cigar went out.
Aye. Everybody's wanting to give him a real leg. Nah, what a game he had. But,
was it a Cuban?
He really was brilliant. And yeah, he's cool as a cucumber last night. Some really good passes. But I think the midfield and the forwards did most of the work to keep the ball away from them. You know? And any boys that came there, it was mostly all pass backs from the midfield. But I do think as a team, we turned the tide on them. They get absolutely nothing. I think the old number 29 touched the ball twice in the first half. Twice, I think. That was it. And one of them was a total screw up. No, seriously, that's how good we were. And it was all because, in my opinion, the midfield were playing brilliantly. And the forwards as well picked the ball up. Great stuff. Just great to watch. Very happy, Ibrox.
I've got a question for you two, and I'll give a bonus to the winner, right? Okay. Which team in the Scottish Premier League has scored the most goals?
Oh, that'll be us then.
Well, the Rangers, isn't it?
I think so, Bridge, but I thought it was another team that scored 300 goals this season so far.
Oh, aye, everyone is brilliant.
I'm just asking, you know. I know your goals have been fair. There's not been overtime. There's not been somebody cheating. There's not been somebody diving, trying to get fellow professionals sent off. You know, it's the way you play the game, Linda, isn't it?
Oh, yes, we play
Top
the game
scorers.
the way it should
Fantasy.
be. Yeah. Don't we? We play the game the way it should be, and we got our win in 92 minutes last night as well, so that was a bit of a novelty, Ox, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know, Linda. I think they're just turning next goal's a winner. That's the way it goes now, isn't it?
You know, I have to say that Arfield got booked for Rangers last night, and I thought it was an absolute disgrace that he get booked. There was absolutely nothing in what he'd done. Absolutely nothing. Never a booking. You look at some of the thugs in that St Johnstone game. Not been funny. That boy McCart could have been sent off twice. Him and Bryson, they two could have been sent off twice themselves. The amount of damage they were doing. Every time the wee Hadji got the ball, he was getting sky-side at times, you know. Just terrible stuff, you know. However, that's the game. Callum Davidson thinks it was great.
9 goals all season they've scored. 9 goals. Imagine watching them.
I'll tell you what, you know, in my heart, I hope they're one of the ones that we're doing. I really do. If any team deserves it, they do.
I don't know. There's a few deserve it, mate. There's a few deserve it. Anyway, we'll get these phone lines open, Linda, if that's all right with you, yeah?
Yes, looking forward to hearing the listeners and what they're thinking about Gio's reign so far, Ox. What sort of marks would they give him out of 10? Wee question.
First person's name she mentions, Gio.
Oh, Gio. That's because she's got another tattoo ordered.
Oh. I would maybe need to draw the line at that, Ox.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
A news flash coming in just to let you know, there's been a goal up at Dingwall. Celtic have made it 3-1. All right, just made it 3-1.
A news flash. That is brilliant, by the way.
Oh, well said, Ox.
Goal up at Dingwall.
You've got to laugh. You've got to laugh.
You got to. But the saddest thing is, they're going to sit there and think they deserve that goal, you know. They're going to say that, you know.
Oh, you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh. He's been waiting for a while. He was a wee bit premature tonight. It's not the first time that's been said to him, but we've been joined by old Davy. Evening, David.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Bridge, yes, and you, the gorgeous Linda.
Oh, good evening, Davy.
Oh, Smoothie.
Great to hear you.
Take a seat, Bridgeman. Old Smoothie's in.
Smoothie. Oh, Smoothie.
Well, I'll give you some words of advice, Linda. Don't leave your celebrations about when Davy's about. They might disappear.
Oh, they're all
that
gone.
right?
Oh, my wife, she's planked them all.
What's your
Think she gave
favourite, Davy?
What's my favourite? Well, every one of them.
The ones that are left. The ones that are left.
Oh, that's terrible. It's terrible. But that was a nice one you said about Dingwall. Well, I had a special request for you, Ox, for a friend of mine today.
Yes.
And he said, can you overrun the programme the night by 7 minutes?
I'm sure we can work on that, mate. I'm sure we can work on that. But before we do that, I'll need to negotiate the overtime rates for London and Bridgeman. You would expect that, yeah?
Yeah, I expect that.
Yeah.
Just so I put that one in there.
Yes, not bad, Davey, not bad. How are you? What's on your mind, mate?
Just thought we're starting to click now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the confidence, and I feel if you look at the reaction, I think we're getting a better reaction for the players than where we were, maybe say, prior to the semi-final. So I just feel it's upwards and onwards now, you know. A couple more hard ones to come, but we're heading in the right direction, I think.
I think if you look at our form, Davey, if you take the semi-final, our form is pretty good for a while, you know.
Oh, definitely.
You know, it's no bad form. We've also, is it one in, what's that, 56? Is it 59 games? 1 in 59 games or something like that in the league, Linda. It's not 57 maybe. It's frightening, our form, really, if you take the big picture. But we're always looking for better, Linda, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. And I think it was just the manner in how some of the games went early doors in the season. You know, we were focusing on the number of goals that we're losing. We seemed to be making individual errors. But sometimes as well, teams seem to be scoring every chance they had against us. Every shot seemed to be going in. But we've all said all along that there was just something not quite right. I don't think we thought it was a change of manager we needed. I don't really think we ever discussed that. But there was something just not quite right with the team. Mm-hmm. But Davey's right. They do seem to be playing with a lot more confidence, Ox, and he's not made major changes. But what he has done is working, and long may it continue.
Can you argue with that? Can you come, Davey?
Sorry?
Can you come?
I totally agree. That's one thing about Linda. She's very, very spot on with her comments. She's very knowledgeable. So is Bridge. Everybody that comes on is the same, apart from yourself. But well, we can call me exceptions, you know.
Well, you'll be on the naughty
listen,
step,
Davey, thanks for the call. We'll speak to you in the new year. Really nice to speak to you.
That's my third red card in 4 days.
Enough about you and Mrs. Davey.
She just came in there. She just popped her head in there. I had said to her earlier, you've not been speaking to me much. She just popped in. I went, go, I'm on the phone.
Another red card then, eh?
I was only a yellow bridge. I was a yellow. Oh, you know. We're heading in the right direction, guys. We're heading in the right direction.
Seriously. Some of the football we played, see for the first 60 minutes yesterday, I'll go to Bridge and then Linda come in and yourself, Davey. For the first 60 minutes, the football, even though we didn't score the goals that we scored, the pace that we moved the football, the movement after the ball, the control, side to side, we were trying to score goals. We had a lot of shots and goals. Maybe missed a few chances, I accept that. Joe Aribo, fabulous effort. In between, we scored a decent goal for the set piece and then we scored a brilliant goal, Bridge. For an hour last night, the football was superb.
It was indeed, and everybody in the stadium was up for it. Very appreciative. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but the times that we didn't, and when we stopped pressing high and allowed them back in again, sometimes they get one or two passes too many, shall we say. And of course, the Bears like myself as well, shouting, "Where you didn't, Rangers, get the ball and get up there again," that kind of. But no, everybody that I spoke to was very, very happy. Very happy. We played some magnificent football last night. Magnificent. That second goal, a wonder to see.
Yeah, Linda, did it make sense to just maybe play the game out and take the foot off the gas? That was my third game in 6 days. We've got another 4 coming quite rapid. Looks as if Gio's going to use mostly the same players. So did it make sense just to conserve the energy for Saturday?
Yeah, you're probably right, Ox, because I think you've hit the nail on the head. He doesn't seem to be making sort of wholesale changes. He's going to stick with the same personnel. So, and he didn't make that many subs either, didn't he? I think Barisic came off and obviously was at Hadji. So he didn't even give any of the midfielders rest. Kent. So, I thought at one point he might have even taken Alfie off because I thought he looked a bit tired towards the end of the match, but he played the whole game. So it probably was wise just to take your foot off the gas. But I think from our perspective, you always kind of want that third goal, Ox, don't you, just to totally kill the game off. Because you don't want to give a goal away and then, it's only 1 goal away from a draw because they wouldn't have deserved anything from the game. But that second goal reminded me of a few of the goals that we scored last year, Ox, that kind of one touch and then, getting in behind the defence. And as you rightly said, I don't see Alfie making that run a few weeks ago. But I really enjoyed some of the football. It was really excellent.
David?
Aye, yeah. Well, I think it's pleasing me the most just now is actually that thing I've been dreading for the last four games at least, is the corners and crosses. They seem to have got this under control at the moment, and it's good to see because before you used to shut your eyes, but I think he's been working on that, and and a big man, the big pass is outstanding. We've got guys who's going to get better and better. But it's good to see them cutting out the mistakes at the back.
The back four, all right, a couple of things don't go your way. It's a game of football. You're not going to get 100% your way. But the back four last night, steady, and also there is a back four there, Linda. It's not a back two getting exposed if people break on them. Sometimes you could argue that going at Kamara, it's a back five.
Yeah,
they look a lot more solid. The full-backs are not pushing up as high. I think we've all been commenting on that. So they're getting a chance to kind of focus on their defending. And as I said earlier, it's to be commended because we've got Big Bassey trying to settle in there and be our sort of left-sided centre-back. Borna seems to be playing a lot better as well, Ox. I don't know if you guys agree with that. I know there's sometimes we want him to cut out the crosses a wee bit more. But I do think that his performances have improved, and I don't think it's any coincidence that they've been, it looks as if they've been asked to stay back, go and help the attack when needed, but they're not the total focus of our attack now, our fullbacks. There's a lot more contribution coming from further up the park now, I think.
Here. Bridgman?
Well, Linda's absolutely right there. Absolutely right. You can see the change in the team. You're watching your centre backs, very move-minded. Big goals and firing balls all over the place. It's really good stuff. But last night we saw Bassey venturing further as well, And you mentioned Kamara there. Kamara takes a wee headache when he gets to the 18-yard box. He can't shoot properly and things like that, But I think from a defensive perspective, we are a unit. I thought Tav and Borna did very, very well last night, and from a defensive perspective, I thought they all did. But that shows that, and at the same time, both of them were well up quite at the time during the match as well, which I was quite surprised about. But well done. Well done to them all. Seriously, really, really good defensive stuff last night. Really good.
Well, if you keep a clean sheet, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good night for the defence and a goalkeeper. But keeping the zero is the buzzword now, Linda. Keeping the zero.
Yeah, absolutely, Ox.
What's that with those 2 goals? 7 games?
Yeah,
since Giovanni came in. Aye. 2 goals. One of them was an own goal. So, doing something right, David.
Well, I think they're marking a lot better now. They're cutting out the silly mistakes, and they seem to be. But you're going to get a lot of that when you're changing a back four about as much as what we've been doing, and you're moving people out and they're not in the right position. Now they're starting to have a few games together. They're looking at a good deal. I think anybody looking at that, whoever's going to come in, they're going to have a fight in their hands to get on that team.
Aye, well, if you pick it in form, there's not a lot of changes coming, but I think you'll have people with niggles and knocks, and we're just trying to get through these 4 games with points, Davey, before the winter break comes about,
Definitely. The thing I'm getting concerned about is what will happen just maybe at the beginning of the winter break, or when the transfer window opens. I'm more interested then to see how our team will shape up, because if the talk that they're saying about who's going and who's not going, if we lose a couple of the ones that we really need, it can make a big difference to the team, I think.
I think the thing is, what will be. They'll all have exit strategies, and if they want to go, well, time to shake hands and get on it. If the deal's right, we'll make deals with somebody else and you move on. That's football, Linda.
Yeah, I understand where Davey's coming from. I mean, there's a couple of players that stand out just now in terms of, their form. We talked about Joe Aribo earlier on. He's arguably maybe our biggest asset now, but just because of how well he's playing. Ryan Kent looks as if he's getting his sparkle back as well. I'm so glad he got that goal last night, because he's been getting a wee bit anxious when he's been missing chances, I think, so that'll do him the world of good. Obviously Kamara, I think there's that teams will be looking at him because he's just one of these players that everybody would want to have in their team. So I understand Davey's concern, but as you say, Docs, they're very well organised behind the scenes. He was asked about it recently, wasn't he, about these players, and he's hopeful that maybe even some of them will sign extensions to their contracts, but that'll obviously all be getting discussed as well. But I would really like to hold on to our squad, absolutely.
So would Alan, I agree, but I'm prepared for people leaving it. It comes, it will come. People will leave because they want to leave. People will leave because the price is right. You know, you deal with it and you move on, and that's behind the scenes. You never know, Bridgeman. You might get better players in the door.
Well, of course, that would be the be all for me. No matter who leaves, when we replace, we have to replace by better, and better never stops. Well, it's got to be better. No someone's imagination of what the person could do. You need to know. Needs to be right, and needs to be the right price. And I'm looking for freebies. I'm looking for guys like Kamara, so we can go in there and just go and take the guy who's desperately keen to play for us. And we gave him a wee bonus to get it. I wouldn't have given him any money. I would have told him where to go. I would have said, no, that's my style, you know. But no, Kamara's turned out to be a tremendous player for us. Aribo, much the same. Their manager who I used to sit and watch playing football down there in Nottingham Forest, and he turned in and says he's going to the wrong place, blah, 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 be better off staying here, and so on and so forth. And look at the boy now. He's plucking the ball out of the sky. He's plucking the ball out of the sky. He is way up there. Fantastic player, Mr. Aribo. And that was only about £500,000, £350,000, something like that. Just amazing. Just amazing. Oh, keep it going. Come on, Gio, get some more.
Don't think it's that easy now. You know, we're at a different level now, but we'll see where we are. We'll see where we are. But David, we just have to. We'll take it as it comes. You know, we'll give a lot of debate and maybe controversy the transfer window, but it's not here yet. And we can't control it, mate.
Well, I think Ox, you were spot on with your comment regarding contingency plans. I think Ross Wilson's got all that in his mind. But when I say I'm concerned, what I'm meaning is I'm concerned that they don't get the money that they should get and just take it. And that wouldn't be very, I don't think that would make the Bears happy out of it.
No, well, we seem to be more sterner in negotiations now, Linda, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously we knocked back was it 18 million for Alfie? Was that 2 years ago? And because we thought he was worth more than that. It'll be interesting. As I say, I don't think we'll accept any cut prices. Absolutely not. And you just don't know what's going to happen with regards to transfers. I mean, maybe there won't be as many in January as maybe people expect, because there wasn't a huge amount of transfer activity in the summer, wasn't there? No, so a few big money moves, but the kind of a middle sort of market, there wasn't a lot. So it could possibly be that there won't be a lot of activity. But as you've rightly said, there's a possibility that we might need to lose one because of the financial situation, then we'll just have to deal with it. But they won't be going for any reduced price. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Aye. Right, okay, so with good performances last night, with some great performances. I think Kent, Aribo, Kamara, the ones just below that would have been Goldstone, Bassey, Arfield maybe as well, and at times, so all the front players, Hadji done okay as well at times, so we've got a whole team starting to fire, Davey, yeah?
Well, what I feel, which is just my opinion, I feel the pleasing thing is they're all playing for each other now. And there's a lot more shouting. Davonier's getting on their case where a lot of times, and even McGregor had stopped doing that a bit. Now, that's all came back to them for whatever reason. I don't know. But long may it continues because they all seem to be enjoying playing with each other. And what I'm meaning about the transfer market is if we do take say we lose a Rebo for 10 mil and we get the 10 mil, that 10 mil is going to get back out in a 10 million player and bring somebody in like that. Because
don't think your 10 million would get Joe Aribo's ring fit, mate.
I'm not quoting what he's worth. I'm just saying the money we've got to bring back that quality, and I think Ross Wilson will have already done that. If you go by some of the comments in the media, who they're interested in, who they're not interested in, we've got to keep the strength of that team all the way to the end.
Mm-hmm. Aye. Okay, aye. Right, okay. The manager, and I've got you last, Linda, because you're biased. The manager's come in the door. 6 wins and a draw. The draw away to Leon Bridgeman. 2 goals conceded in 7 games. What's he done?
He's got a wee touch of magic going at the moment with the players, and he's obviously words with them and his coaching staff, and they've obviously told him this is what we want you to do, and if you don't do it, fair enough, you'll not be here. I imagine he might have said it in a slightly better way than I'm saying, but giving them a challenge, and I think they've responded to whatever challenge each of them have had. And you saw that, you've got Boy Sakala. You see the smile that boy's got in his face. If we weren't playing well, if things weren't going right, he wouldn't be smiling like that. And it's there for every single one of the players. The marvellous chances. This man's giving them the chances. And sooner or later, they've got to respond to it one way or the other. And I tell you now, I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're responding the best way they can. And we're the benefit of it, our fans, the benefit. Great stuff. Look at his record, you'd say it. Brilliant.
Aye, Bridgeman's spot on. And by the way, Linda, you may get a selfie with me, and then you'll have a set of 2 good-looking guys with you. And don't listen to Larry in the studio. Just you go and get a selfie with me. I'm dynamite. Right, let's get back.
Wonder, I can send you a photo of Davey. I've got it above my mantelpiece. It keeps the wings away from the fire.
Is it a mug shot? Sorry, Davey, I couldn't resist that.
I know. That's all right. You can get that on off you, man. I'll pay for it. Aye. Gio, I think what's annoying me, and it's on the past, but see the way we lost the semi-final. I still think that could have been it's by now, but if we had just done something I'm not criticising the guys who take it here, but the whole bit of that was avoidable, I think. And I think he's shown it now from then on to where we are at the moment.
Aye, if we'd have played in that semi-final, we'd have won. But did they play? In hindsight, you maybe wish that Giovanni with Blanc-Bockhorst was in there, and maybe things might have been different. But he could have went in there and things could have been worse. Linda will never be able to answer that question.
No, but I do agree with you in the fact that there's a big possibility that if he'd come in maybe a week, 10 days even before, if that previous manager could have left when probably he started talking to the other club, but enough about that. I think it would have made a difference, and I can understand Davey as well. It does still rankle with us. We were talking about it as a family the other day, probably because the finals this weekend, I think we were talking about it. However, in terms of what Gio's done, Ox, I mean, there was a couple of things that kind of stood out in terms of perhaps the defence, trying to tighten that up, cut down on errors. But there was something that you were always going on about, and it was the way that we were playing with no natural width from our forward players. And I think that's something that he sorted out, Ox, and it's really quite obvious now when you think about somebody like Ryan Kent. He's getting to be able to isolate fullbacks, he's taking them on, and he just looks as if he's got a new lease of life. And the other thing is Alfie, the way he sorted out Alfie's play, he's more in the box. So there's a few wee things there, I think, are just the minor details that he's done that's made a difference.
Tweaks then, is that what you're saying, tweaks?
Yeah, minor tweaks.
Or is it we're more offensive with this 4-1-4 one, really, if we're being honest. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, trying to work out the formation sometimes is difficult, isn't it?
I see last night Kent on the left and Amino on the left, Hadji on the right. No far enough right for me, but that's another story. Hadji, Hadji on the right, and then obviously Joe Aribo and Scotty Arfield making runs, prodding and running, and then behind them Glenn Kamara being all over the pitch, and then the back four, and then Alfie up top, and sometimes moving out to let players run into space. But I see it as a 4-1-4-1 last night. Bridge?
Yeah, I thought they changed it very well. I thought Morelos had one of his more outstanding games. His outfield play was excellent. Link-up play, out of this world. And he scored his wee goal with the head. Just lovely to see. And really, the second goal, he was key in the second goal. Absolutely key. Apart from running into the box, but he was key in the passes, the wall pass with Aribo, and away he went, galloping into the box and finding Kent dead easy. It's a fantastic game. He really did a good game. And that was just not necessarily being in the box at all times, which a lot of folk want, including myself, I must admit. But being part of these great passing movements, fabulous. He's brilliant. The boy's brilliant, and so's the rest of them. Marvellous. Love it.
I'm still here.
David, carry on, mate. I suppose at your age, every day's a bonus.
No,
I suppose at your age, every day's a bonus, isn't it?
Yes. I'm waiting my turn now because I know I got a yellow card the last time for cutting in. So
I think you've had that many cards are orange now.
Well, when you're it's nearly my birthday, by the way. It's on the 4th of January, just to let you all know. There'll be something to say. And what you're saying about positions, this 4-4-2, 4-3-1-1, it was the same with me and Bridge, right, to see football. Your inside forwards, McMullen, Brand. They played the same sort of, and Baxter. That was the same formation, but you caught them inside left and inside right. But that's just technical banter now, what they call them, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you like to say about it.
Still the same principles, isn't it? You pass it to the guy with the same colour.
Yeah, definitely.
You pass it to the guy with the same colour of jersey, Linda, and you try and put it in between the 3 bits of metal or wood. Yeah,
absolutely. It's not complicated, is it? We just need to get the ball up the park and score goals. That's all we're looking for. And I know you said we've scored 14 under Gio, haven't we? But you could probably add another maybe 6 or 7 to that easily, Ox, couldn't you? Scott Arfield, I think, started to play well because he's obviously getting a run in the team. But I think he'll be probably a wee bit disappointed that he's maybe not got another 3 or 4 goals over the last few games.
I agree, some of his runs have been superb.
Yeah, just sometimes his finishing just lets him down, but he certainly is starting to hit a real bit of form too, I think.
Yeah, he's not the greatest, how do I put this, he's not the most natural strikers of the ball. He's not a George Alberts, he's more a guy that'll deflect it or pass it into the goal, so sometimes when he gets through about that 20 yards, he's maybe, if he's going to, he has done it. But that's no one of his strengths.
Yeah, and it was funny, the one that Alfie ran through at the end, and we were looking for him to lob the goalie. I think Scott would have scored that chance because he's got that in his locker, whereas he's not got the power in his shot, as you said there. I did laugh at
Alfie when he fluffed it. He kidded on his leg. I was howling.
That's right. He did.
I tell you who taught him that in training, Bridgeman. Oh.
What a shocker you are, boy. What a shocker. The Partick saying no things. Terrible.
Bad pass. Oh, my leg. But Alfie, it's just the faces he pulls. And on Sunday, Linda, when he was checking on Glenn Kamara, did you catch that?
That was hilarious, wasn't it? It really was. Never seen him doing anything like that. and his reaction at the end as well, he always does applaud the fans. But when he set up the goal last night, he's obviously got another assist. He was absolutely milking that as well. And I don't know if there was something going on with the players, but they were all having a right laugh.
Alfie, I think.
Alfie, obviously, yeah. So, as Davey said earlier, that there's a lot of, it looks as if they're all really enjoying it, playing, and there's a great bond between them. And that wasn't obviously evident, wasn't it, earlier on in the season? They looked a bit disgruntled at times, but they've all certainly got, it does help, Ox, obviously, when you're playing well and you're winning, doesn't it?
Of course. Davey, you mentioned confidence. Is it that simple?
Well, as if you look back and what the circumstances that came about, and nobody's going to tell me otherwise that all this Gerrard nonsense wasn't getting into their heads. Nobody will convince me otherwise, and that's not going to give you any kind of harmony. And mentioning harmony, that's not going to give you a team that wants to have their head in the right place when they don't even know who their manager is, if he's going to take off, and they did. And I think it's shown now that he's away.
Maybe, but wonder, confidence, is it the results, and is that what's breeding us? We're not losing the first goal, we're scoring goals, we're keeping clean sheets, we're playing well. We were winning before, but we know we weren't playing well.
Yeah, I think it's probably a sort of combination of a few different things. I mean, if you think about Gio's first game against Sparta, the 2-0 game, they played well in that game. They kept a clean sheet. We were all kind of fearing the worst, and that was a really important result that night, Ox. It just gave them the platform. And then I think the following game, we were going into the Livy game away, and we just wondered how they were going to start in that game as well. We've sometimes struggled there. So it was just starting to build a wee bit of momentum, and they started to look as if they were enjoying their football again. But confidence is a big thing, and we're not really struggling to win games. Okay, the Hibs one came down to a penalty, and that Hearts game last weekend was just a great game of football. So it's probably a combination of a few things, I think.
Yeah, talking about a combination, we want to just keep this in your mind. Take it away, Fox.
Hi, I'm Big Stevie.
Hi, I'm Southside from Rangers Radio.
As part of our club's 150-year celebrations, Rangers Radio are holding a charity race night on the 26th of March 2022 at the Rangers Club outside Ibrox Stadium.
Thanks to everyone who has contributed so far. There are still opportunities for businesses, supporters clubs and individuals to sponsor races and place advertisements within the event programme.
Listeners, including those unable to attend, can purchase tickets for our online Super 6 Races booze cruise to win a super selection of quality spirits provided by the Rangers Radio panellists.
For details how to take part in our Super 6 and how to purchase adverts in our race programme, please visit shop.RangersRadio.online.
Super 6 Races will also be screened live on Facebook. Any listeners wishing to become involved in our sponsorship should contact rangersradio@gmail.com.
All monies raised will go to the Emmy Smiley Charity Foundation, the Rangers Supporters Erskine Appeal and the Robert Mulholland Memorial Parade.
Meanwhile, it's Colonel John Summerbird in the red cap. And Signon has come to the outside. Signon coming flying on the grandstand side. Gio Conti on the inside. Summerbird is right there. This is unbelievable.
Thanks for that, Fox. And can I thank all the people involved in Rangers Radio? Once again, we're touched with your generosity. We were asked to get involved in an appeal for a selection box campaign, and some of our colleagues at Cheers TV asked for an appeal, and some of the people for Rangers Radio came up trumps and 50 selection boxes were delivered to Oswald Bar today. Thanks very much. Thanks for the person who took the time to gather them and deliver them. We really appreciate it, and a worthy cause at this time of year. Linda.
Oh, that's wonderful, Ox. Well done to everybody involved and the Rangers Radio family. Generosity, it's absolutely brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah. Davey, what you doing the 26th of March? I need somebody to watch my motor.
Did you get a chair? You got a,
Did you say watch your motor and wash it?
Base bridge one.
Hey, by the way, see when that trumpet went off, the guy next door's dog went nuts.
Where are you, the Fox and Hounds?
No, I'm in the house. No, so I'll hit you going for the night and let somebody else come in.
All right, okay, dude, always good to hear from you, mate. You take it easy.
Yeah? I'll still listen to you, don't worry.
All right. You go and tuck into these celebrations.
Take care.
Night, Davey.
Oh, what a man. What a man. He takes on good spirit, Linda, doesn't he?
Okay, just as I said the other week there, he's one of the gang, so yes, he's good. He's a good sport.
Aye. He's a youth policy bridgeman. Right, okay. So thanks to everybody and thanks to the people who took their time to sort that out for us today. We really appreciate it, and a worthy cause at this time of year. We always wish you could do more, but we can only do what we can do. Right, okay. Joe Rebo, man of the match. Can't argue with that, Linda, can we?
No, we can't argue. Bridge is spot on. And obviously we had Kent and Kamara, and Bridge also said Golson had a good game too. He started to find a wee bit of form, hasn't he? But Joe Aribo, yeah, it's just different class. Adding goals to his game as well. He's just exciting when he gets the ball, and you could see that from the crowd last night as well. When he was on the ball, they were on their feet waiting to see what he was going to do. He must be an absolute nightmare to play against as well, Ox. But certainly Joe's just been one of our star performers, and what have we got? Another 4 games to go, and let's really hope that he continues this form. We get through to the winter break, and then they can get a wee bit of a well-earned rest, I think.
Yeah. I can't argue with that, Bridgeman. I think you gave him man of the match. Did you give him 9, Bridge?
I gave him a 9, yeah. But I have to admit, I did that with Kent as well. I thought, and Golson came very close by. These are just the way I'm at the things, but I really do think Aribo was absolutely outstanding. And I'll tell you what, 99% his man of the match was trapping that ball. Not even trapping it, pulling it down. I haven't seen anybody doing that with a ball since I was a wee kid in Brigton. There you go. And some of the boys were fantastic players. And some of them could do that. Pull the ball down to a high.
I don't think it wasn't just the pull and down, Bridge. If you watch it again, he could run a player just as he pulls it down. It's absolutely fantastic. And by the way, the noise, you think it was a goal under it?
Yeah, it's been doing the wee video. Bridge has been doing its rounds on social media, and without any commentary, and the crowd. You're right, Ox. The noise from the crowd is unbelievable. Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic. Can I ask you guys a wee question?
No.
Is Steve? Thanks, Bridge. Is Stephen Davis got an injury just now?
Not that we've heard, Linda, but he's hardly played, and obviously he played the second half in Lyon. Didn't he come on against Hearts, and then obviously wasn't even in the squad last night?
I think he got booted against Lyon. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
But we've not seen much of him under Stevie G.
No.
Giovanni. Thinking cardboard cutouts again, Linda. But we've not seen him much under Giovanni. But God, as much as I think he's a marvellous player, Glenn Kamara is just he gets about the pitch that half a yard quicker than Stephen, and is maybe more natural to play that position, if you like. Is that fair, Linda? Or am I being over critical on Stephen Davis?
No, I think you're right, Ox, and we'll always be grateful to Stephen Davis. He's been a hero of ours, hasn't he? And he might still have a role to play, but yeah, he's not going to go with the two sitters, isn't he? Not. It doesn't feel like that anyway. Particularly and obviously in the Premier League in Scotland. But I think the last time Davis started was the Hibs game. I think I was wondering that today. I had a wee look. So that's why I was asking, because I hadn't read anything about whether he had a knock or not. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets back into the team. Knowing Stephen, he'll be wanting to play, won't he?
Oh, of course. Here's a question for you two then.
Right.
Just quickly, and I don't know who's going on the shuffling, but do you think that the state of public health at the moment will cause football to shut down, or do you think we could be behind closed doors again? Linda?
I don't think they'll close it down. It's just my own view. I know there was a couple of managers maybe spoke about that, about having this circuit breaker. I think there's mixed views on it. I would be more likely to go with the behind closed doors again if they do anything, Ox.
Bridgeman?
I can't disagree with that. I think that she's right. What do you call him? The boys in charge of Livingston. He's asked for the football to be shut right now. As far as he's concerned, we should just stop and give everybody a chance. I don't know, stop as an early break, and don't bother about the winter shutdown. Just start back wherever we can and go on with it. I don't know whether the clubs will listen to him, or the SFA or SPFL will listen to him or not. But there are a number of people, Linda's right, that are really keen on getting that circuit break type thing in, just to stop this in its tracks if it's possible. Although I do think that Linda's...
What good is it if you shut down football but you can still go to the dancing bridge?
Oh, I don't know about the dancing. I see what you're meaning, yeah. No, I really don't know. I just find the whole thing amusing. So one of the big problems is where you've got massive amounts of crowds moving through the city from using different forms of transport. And there's a greater chance of getting it picked up by someone getting this variant than anywhere else. And the only other things it could be, I'm using this loosely, is one of these big music festivals where...
but you would have to shut down. You would have to shut down all the shopping centres and that. The amount of people go to them.
Yes, indeed. I'm saying that. It's all there. All of these things have to be, shall we say, gauged. And I'll tell you what, I would start with what happened up in Dingwall last night. If the Celtic players going into the crowd, you don't know who they're in touch with, right? So
I wouldn't go into that crowd, even if it wasn't COVID was invented.
The thing is, they're going back in among their own players. If anybody's picked something up, that could go through the whole of Dingwall within minutes. It could be going through it. It's just incredible. They should be absolutely roasted for that one. Nobody will say nothing to them. We've got a bowling goalie up here.
Yeah, Bridge Knox, they could go back to maybe just having the bubbles and stuff like that in football. They might introduce kind of a stringent rules for them again. But I think as well, Ox, it might depend on how many teams are starting to be affected by it, because we've seen quite a few numbers. You can kind of see both sides of the argument. If you closed it down for the fortnight over sort of Christmas and New Year, scrap the winter break and just start, in January. But how do we know what the numbers are going to be like in a few weeks' time, Ox? That's the only thing, isn't it?
So what you're saying, Linda, is you just award the league this now then?
Well, that's a possibility.
Yes,
yeah.
Please. Yes,
please.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they set a precedent, didn't they?
Absolutely, Ox.
Yeah. Yeah, oh well. That would be a shame, wouldn't it? Right, okay. Get yourself...
Imagine that happening the 1st of January, yeah? Imagine that happening the 1st of January and they can't get playing us. Oh, must give it to Rangers, four ahead. 4 points ahead. That's it. Give it to Rangers. And Mark, you can go and do all your calculations based on anything you want. There's nothing they can do. Celtic would never be able to overtake us, even mathematically. Couldn't do it. So there you go. Dancer.
Well said, Bridge.
Get yourself in mute, because we're going to have a chew.
Tea time.
Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We support the Glasgow Rangers, do not Ibrox is the place. And we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Now years ago the story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I like that one, Linda. I like that one. Quite catchy.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Yes. We've been joined by one of life's gentlemen. Good Bob Gears joined us this evening, Bob.
Good evening, everyone. How are we all tonight?
Evening,
Good, mate,
Bob.
yourself.
Aye, all right, yeah. Well, a good win last night. Another 3 points, another step in the right direction. I thought we could have scored more, but hey-oh, we won. That was the objective. Can I touch on this and say you couldn't make that up at Dingwall last night? But never mind about them. It's all about the Rangers. And aye, well done, lads. Against we all knew we were up against the 5-4. We broke it down eventually and won no bother in the end. So it's on to Saturday.
I think it's a different game if Joe Aribo's won it come off the woodwork, Bob.
Come off the post, aye. That would have been the goal of the season. That's right, that was.
You know.
But they didn't all go in, unfortunately, Hawks. But yeah, well done to the young man. Another good game, by the way.
Well, I think you've been a bit unkind to him, mate. He didn't have a good game, mate. He had a great game.
No, aye. Oh, he's a wonderful player, Joe Aribo. And when he I don't like saying this, but when he finally does depart, he's not going to depart for peanuts. We're going to cash in on the boy because it's inevitable, isn't it? Let's be honest. But we'll cash in on the boy.
I think that boy could play in any team, mate. Any team.
Oh, he's good. Aye. Oh, he's top drawer. Definitely. I mean, who was responsible for bringing him here? Was it Ross Wilson?
No.
I can't remember, but
I don't think it was Caixina.
No, it wasn't
Caixina. No, it wasn't him. No.
Yeah, Lindsay Ways, that's 3 years. I don't think Ross Wilson was Ways, was he? Joe Rebo, this is his third season, London, yeah?
I think it was the guy that Ross Wilson replaced.
Mark Allen.
Mark Allen, aye, could have been him, aye.
I might be wrong, London, I might be wrong.
Because I can mind the then Charlton manager, he turned into Rebo and tore a strip off him for going up to Scotland. Then again, he didn't realise the magnitude of Glasgow Rangers. But all the boys at Jam is a diamond, like. So, as long as he's here, let's enjoy him, eh?
Yes. Bob, you're a very sensible man.
Oh, well, at times, yes, I try to.
At times, right. So, we're all watching an improvement on our team. Have the players done it, or is it the new manager bounce?
It's got to be the effect of the new manager. I mean, we've spoken about this that many times, actually. It's got to be the effect of the new administration.
How high can this bounce go then, Bob?
How high can it go?
Aye.
Well, it's gone ever higher. We're winning every game, touch wood. There you go. And we've got a possible 3 points on Saturday again. We're going to have to work our butt off to get it, but that will do. It's got everybody working hard, playing well, everybody organised. It's as we keep saying on the shows, why were we so flat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if we do bounce to a higher level, well, there's only one inevitable conclusion in this league, for me anyway. I didn't see anybody touching us. Oh, there'll be the odd defeat, but there always is. But no, to me, definitely the new manager, definitely the new administration has came in. There's been something happening when Gerard was here. I mean, I don't want to mention his name again, but when Gerard was here, there was something wrong. There was something up behind the scenes. We can all see that, but now everybody's got a smile on their face. You seen it at Tynecastle last Sunday. Everybody pulling for one another. Everybody battling for one another. Everybody playing well. Some of the one-touch football was brilliant. Same with last night. So that's all the good. Keep it going. Yes, it's definitely the new administration has done that.
Wonder.
Yeah, I agree with Bob. I mean, these players didn't just become bad players overnight, didn't they not, Bob? We always knew that hopefully they would regain their form. But as I said, when the previous manager went out, it wasn't... The one thing that was disappointing was obviously not qualifying for the Champions League. But as we've rightly pointed out, Ox, at that point, we were 4 points clear in the league. We were in the semi-final of the League Cup. We were in the Europa League, and we hadn't even kicked into second or third gear. So it wasn't an absolute disastrous start of the season. But as we've said, there was just something missing, I think, from the team in terms of their overall play.
Right.
Can I come in there, Ox?
Yes, mate.
You're right what you're saying, Linda. Absolutely, 100%, love. As we all know, the bottom of the flatness came in the semi-final against the Hibs, and we went, oh no, yeah. No. But immediately when Gio got out of the team, and he never had long, it was 2 or 3 days before there was a game, and you see the effect was immediate, and it's been like that ever since. And we're all loving the roller coaster ride. How long may it continue? And and don't forget, this is still Gerard's squad. And we'll have to wait and see eventually to what stamp that Van Bronckhorst and Mackay put on the team themselves. So to me, it can only get better in the long run. I think so anyway. I'm not a football manager, but I only see what I see. I'm a supporter. And the improvement to me has been good. It's been radical. And it can get better. So, onwards and upwards.
Well, it can get better. Can get better. So we're still on this upward curve, Bridgeman. The bounce hasn't ended yet. I like it.
Yeah, look, can I just say, as far as I'm concerned, and I mean this in all honesty, and I don't disrespect anyone, as far as I'm concerned, I'm thankful that Steven Gerrard came to Ibrox. Absolutely loved every second he was there. There was obviously some issues regarding a story that was breaking. He was going to leave, and the players obviously knew more about it. And I think that's what happened to the players. the manager's leaving, what we're going to do? Is anybody going to come in and help us and so on and so forth? Well, somebody has come in. Van Bronckhorst's here and he's helping, and you can see the difference on the pitch. You can see the change in the players, the demeanour, everything about them. But within a month or so, they've got them playing better than they played before. Some of the players anyway. He's got them playing better than they had before. But no, I'm never going to say that Steven Gerrard did anything wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. Good luck to him. Whatever he does, I wish him nothing but the best. That's from me. So please, don't beat me up. But that's the way I feel about it. But welcome, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. You're the boy. You can do it. So.
All right. Okay. So I get it. I hope Bob G's right, Linda, and this was still bouncing. Seems that, no pun intended, the Rangers support, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all believe that this squad of players is well capable and good enough to go on and win the league. There's not any doubt about that. As Bob said, there'll be some bumps along the way, but I think overall we think we've got the best squad. And if nothing changes in January, Ox, and it's the same group of players, just to hypothetically, if that happens, I still think we would be happy with that. And I think we would, obviously the European game that's coming up, that's a tall order in terms of winning that. But I think we've got a good enough group of players to go on and win this league if they can continue to show the kind of form that they've shown already under Gio. I firmly believe that.
Right, okay, man, I get it. I'm just pleased that Bob thinks that we're on the upward and there's more to come, because if the football's good just now, if it goes up 10%, Bob, I just can't wait.
Oh, aye, absolutely. I mean, I think it can get better. I mean, I saw flashes out again last Sunday and flashes out last night. We get that on a consistent level, and then, to me, I'm convinced that we can win this league. I definitely am. The only downward thing for me is I'm going to watch that lot running around with a trophy on Sunday, but never mind, we'll win that again at some point, that's a certainty. But, there's been been a really, really good improvement there in Van Bronckhorst's tenure so far. And I hope there is some money. But, as we keep saying, somebody might need to go out to bring in the money for him to put his own stamp on the team. I'm really happy the way things are going. You can't be happier when you're winning every game. And Linda, what you're saying there, you're absolutely right. Borussia Dortmund, they're a big hurdle, but hey, the Rangers will give them a game. I'm convinced of that. We'll be in good shape at that time to give them a game. Not saying we'll beat them, but we'll give them a hell of a game. I think so.
Yeah.
But that's for the future.
Absolutely, Bob.
That's for the future. We've got to go on with the business here in Scotland now.
A lot of water to go under the bridge before we get there.
A lot. Aye.
Yeah.
On the pitch and off the pitch, but we'll see where it takes us. Right, okay. Leadership. I want to talk to you about leadership. The right back and the centre half have been criticised at times, but you can see they're the leaders on the park. Pushed by Alan McGregor, it's becoming obvious again that they maybe, I don't know, into the shell's the right word, or the team wasn't focused in their own games, but you see the communication. I don't know if you noticed one in the first half. Alfie gave the ball away, Connor Golson had to cover, just nothing major, and you could see him snapping up at Alfie. It's good to see, and it's a positive. Had they all went into their shell, Linda? Or they coming out their shell again? It's similar questions, but the leadership is important on the park, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. And I think with Alan McGregor, he was in and out the team. I mean, Gerrard was chopping and changing the goalie, and we were told it was because they were trying to manage Alan's minutes, taking into consideration his age, etc. I personally don't think that did Alan any good. I think he's looked better because he's playing more. He's got his, he's sharp and his concentration's there. I think that was having an effect on him. With Golson and Tav, I noticed a few things earlier in the season, a few times earlier in the season, they were having disagreements at times between the two of them. That seems to have stopped, and there's better communication. So I think you're right. The three of them are kind of the standout leaders, and they're looking a lot more solid.
I would agree with that, Linda. I think so. I think Golson's took a lot more responsibility. I mean, as you say, it's all due to two periods in the season so far. The flatness before Van Bronckhorst come in, we can't even put our finger on where it came from, but we can certainly put our finger on where the upsurges came from. That's for Gio. So that's behind us. We're doing well. We're doing okay. The leadership qualities, aye, definitely. McGregor, wow. What a save that was. I'll never forget that save last Sunday for boys in the opening minutes of the game. It was unbelievable. It's one of the best I've ever seen. And if anybody thought Alan McGregor was finished, including myself, by the way, they're wrong, totally wrong. Alan McGregor's a top goalkeeper. And the back four, well, it's settled, isn't it? It seems to be settled for the injury of Balogun and Hollander, I may add. And Big Bassie's done well. So the four of them, yeah, have shown some really good leadership qualities in the back four, I think so. Even young Bassie and even Borna Barisic has come back out of his game. And all through the team, definitely. So that's a radical improvement. Right.
I'm glad you mentioned young Bassie. I mean, he's got pace. He's got pace. He's got power. I still don't know if he's a centre half, even though he's playing well. You know, Bridgman. He's learning his trade, and he's getting more confident as every game goes by. Yeah.
Absolutely. Last night was an example. There was times in that game there he took the ball and he took the whole game for himself, for his own game, by the scruff of the neck and lifted it. And he made some really good runs. Admittedly, got leathered, pulled down a couple of times and barged off the ball and things like that. These were all happening. That's part and parcel of being that type of player. I just think that he is playing very well. I have to say to you right now, Goldson is head and shoulders above everybody in the park insofar as, shall we say, captaincy material is concerned. Head and shoulders. You watched him last night, he was barking orders everywhere. Now, that's not to say he doesn't make a mistake, because he does, and he makes a few of them. But the truth is, when he tells these players, this is what you want to do, then they do it. And when you see they do it, it works. That's what happens. And it's great to see. It's really great to see. Whereas I don't know what the difference between him and Tab. I've no disrespect for Tab at all. I admire him greatly. But I don't think he's as good a captain as Goldson could be if you made him captain.
I see Goldson as the leader on the park. He is the leader. Yeah. Tab's the club captain. If you like, Londa, they're two different roles.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when the games were played without fans last season, you could actually hear Goldson barking instructions to everybody else. And obviously Bassie is having to settle into that role, and Golson's telling him what to do, etc., etc. He's got more responsibility on the ball. I think, like we said earlier, that's something that Bassie will probably add to his game. But yeah, they're two different roles. Tav's definitely the club captain, and he's the one that, faces up to the media, etc. Although obviously Golson did make that statement, and maybe he was quite right back then. But yeah, two different roles, but two very important roles.
Agreed with you.
Aye. Okay. All right. And there's a team spirit there. I've been pointing out. I missed it myself, but now that I've thought about it, Hadji telling Sakala he's got to get back in position. That's a team, Bob Jer, isn't it? That's a team.
Oh, it's a team, yeah. I mean, you see he tweaked it last night. We were all talking the night previously on Tuesday night there about what he tweaked the team, and he did. I mean, we all thought that Sakala were aside, but no, Arfield would have moved on, sorry. But no, he tweaked it the right way with Hadji, who I thought played not too bad last night. I'm not his biggest fan, but I thought he played not too bad last night, the boy. We've got a good squad of players, definitely. And they're all playing for one another, trying for one another, smile on their face, winning games. What's better? What's I'm getting tongue-tied again. Sometimes I do on the Iraqs, I'm not as fluent as I usually am. Aye.
I can't believe you said that about Hadji. He's not one of your favourites. He's one of my all-time.
Well, he's not one of our favourites, actually. But then again, that's only opinions, eh?
Aye, so
The boys part of a winning team, and that's it. And as long as the Rangers are winning, I'm happy. And as far as Goldson, you can see Goldson as totally the leader on the park. Totally. I think this club captain thing is only a title. I didn't see Tav as a great captain. You know, much as I like him, the boy, but I didn't think he's sort of out and out captain material. But I think I would give the armband to Goldson actually, but you know, it doesn't matter. Once you cross that white line, it's all about each other and get into it.
I think fans make more of the issues than pros do, Linda.
Yeah, aye, definitely. We've always got our favourites, and you know, there's certain players that we wouldn't like to see as captain, and there's others that we think should be captain. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that Alan McGregor should be the captain. I personally don't think a goalkeeper should be. I think they've obviously got a role to play, haven't they? But I think a captain should probably be an outfield player. But yeah, Ox, we make more of it than I think the team does generally. But it's obviously a proud moment if you captain the team or the club, and you know, you wouldn't knock it back if you were a player, obviously.
You know, talk about captains and captains of all positional wise. The centre half, in general, the centre half or a wing back, a wing half, would be the captain of the team, because those positions can see all the game, can see how things are happening against them. You know, they can see what the other team, and they can read the game better. Sometimes a goalkeeper can do that, and that's one of the reasons why they get picked. So if everybody in the team isn't playing that well, that might be the best place to put the captaincy right on the shoulders of the goalkeeper, because he can see everything that's going on as well. But generally, it was a centre half, and a centre half when he was captain, he seemed to be a mountain of a man. That's what he seemed to be, and he carried it well. And of course, you get good full-back captains as well. So I'm not taking anything away from anyone, but normally centre half was a person you would look to as a leader in the team.
But we used to have a situation many years ago, Bridge, if you remember, when Eric Calder was the captain.
Absolutely, pal, yeah.
And if he got hurt, well, who was better to step in and take the armband than one Bobby Shearer?
Bobby Shearer, absolutely, yeah. But they were held in great, shall we say,
the highest.
Exactly, everybody held them high. But you know, the next captains you got weren't the fullbacks anymore. It was someone else, you know, it was a centre half, or it was Barry Ferguson, or someone that comes along and they come in and they do the business. It's wonderful to watch, and a captain's got to be able to do something on the park to rummel their team up, whatever that may be. And Barry Ferguson was good at that, wasn't he? Because he was moaning in their face. He wasn't scared to go up to their face and shout at them, you know.
See, again, I don't think Barry Ferguson needed the armband to do that, Bridge. I think he would have done it
It was a natural. I think that's why they gave him it. Sometimes it happens. You've got a natural there. Just give him it.
It's like Fox, a natural moaner, you know.
Foxy. Come on, like Foxy, tell us. Natural moaner. So who was your captain in your team then?
Who would be my captain?
Yeah, who was in your team? Who would you put captain?
Well, usually
you can't see yourself.
No, mate, no. There's people that you're right. Traditionally, the boys that were the ball winners of the team would be the captain. Wouldn't it? You wouldn't get it. You would get the water carriers rather than the football players.
Oh.
Well,
ouch.
Point made, Linda. Point made.
Yes,
no,
point made.
Don't give us any
give you that.
Who would be your captain?
Point made. Yes. Give him the armband and tell him to kick it the way he's facing.
Yeah.
Well, there were some great people, Rangers captains, in through the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're talking about Barry Ferguson there. If you mind the issue between when Advocat gave him the armband and took it off Amaruso.
Yeah.
Big Lorenzo took the huff about it. So it must have meant a lot to him, because I can mind of that at the time. But I didn't agree with it. I don't want to hack back all the time, but I would have thought they were just should have let Big Lorenzo with the captain's armband, but that's history.
But it means a lot.
He did sell the jerseys against Monaco, try to showboat when we're 2-1 up with 7 minutes to go in the Champions League.
Yeah.
You know,
I was there.
Yeah. Me too.
It's amazing how things get thrown back in somebody's face, isn't it?
I'm no better. I don't forget. You know, I like Big Amaruso, and I tell you, in fact, after it, he's foreign Forest a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Lorenzo, he was a character, wasn't he?
You know, when you think back to when John Gregg was playing when he's in his pomp,
it
didn't matter what position in the park you played John Gregg, he was a captain.
Mm-hmm.
He was a captain. He would have killed people to get to the ball type line, you know, because that's the way a man's character was. Excellent captain. And we would struggle for a wee while after John Gregg to get a natural captain who could do the same things as him. Really difficult job. So
I think it was Richard. Maybe Terry Butcher came in the door.
We bought him in. We bought Terry Butcher, and I was so pleased. There's a captain, and we brought Richard Gough, another captain. Just superb stuff. Just superb.
Didn't forget the great Sandy Jardine.
Sandy Jardine was there. I don't know if
he wasn't really our captain, Bob Chair.
No, but he captained the club on more than a few occasions. Though.
Oh yes, indeed.
He did. But that's like saying Terry Butcher was a captain of England. He captained in a game, but he was never captain. He might have had a spell at it, but if you think back, it sort of went for Derek Johnstone and then Ali Dawson, and
that's right.
You know, I think Craig Patterson was our captain for a while, bizarrely. You know,
he was bizarrely,
Came for Hibs, captain.
Mm-hmm. Big Patterson.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, Fox is getting in the Christmas mood. Under a jingle, he went bells.
Good old Foxy. Well done.
He was out with Nurse Gladys today, and he had his Santa hat on. And she said, "You're in the Christmas spirit." He said, "Look up at the sky. Look at all the reindeer." The man's brilliant. He's comedy gold.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, that's true. By the way, that is true. Look at all the reindeer. I like that one. He surpassed himself for that one.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Come on, give your thoughts. I mean, this show would have been mobbed if we'd beat 2-0 last night, Linda, wouldn't it?
It would have been, definitely, yes.
By the way, you missed the boat with Big Amaruso, club captain, you know what I mean? Cardboard cutout and good in the kitchen.
Oh, I know. Goodness, they do cardboard cutouts back then, unfortunately.
You missed it there.
What a guy.
Aye, he was a good player, wasn't he? He was a good player.
Just never forgot the Rangers, that man.
No, not at all, you know.
No.
I see Big Magic Bagheera, who was a different kind of leader on the park, wasn't he? Maybe sometimes comedy gold, but I see him writing some stuff about Rangers, the player that made him, how he grew up, the winning mentality, every game was important, it taught him so much. One of the finest performances I've seen by one of your players in the World Cup tournament was him against England in South Africa. The guy was outstanding.
Bagheera was
outstanding. So another guy who's speaking fondly about the club this week, Linda.
Yeah, I read that. And remember the goal he scored where he waltzed through about, 4 or 5 players, Ox. I don't know what game it was. It was doing the rounds. Is that right, Bob?
It was against Stuttgart in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think she's talking about the one against Dundee United, the night boy get 5.
Yeah, he waltzed through.
Oh, right.
About 5 tackles or something.
I'll tell your homework, Bob, Jer, before you come on here and start making things up.
Yes, I will.
A cracking player. I remember him. He wasn't with us for that long, was he, Ox? I don't think.
I'll check it out for you, Linda. I'll check it out just for you.
That goal stands out, and it was doing its rounds on social media, because it must obviously, because he'd come out and said some really nice things about Rangers. That was really nice to read. That it really was.
It was running about this time of the year, actually, but I'll check that out. He was good. He was an entertaining. If you have such a thing, Bridgeman, he was an entertaining centre half.
Oh, most assuredly, Paul, yeah. I loved it when he scored goals. He put the old arms when he did the aeroplane. I just wonder what he watched. I actually thought that when he took the armband off him, I thought he would actually pack it in. I really did.
We're talking about Magic Beguera now, Bridge.
Oh, sorry, Big Beguera. Well, Big Beguera is excellent.
Sorry, Bridge.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah, you've not only let yourself down, you've let your family down, all your fans down.
Absolutely, they all know now. They all know now.
Magic Beguera played 113 games for us, one substitute appearance.
And he was like a captain on the pitch, just like a captain. Amazing player.
113 games.
The games against Celtic were just outstanding, Will. Outstanding. Tremendous stuff. And that big white egg. Oh, yes, there we go.
He wasn't their biggest fan, but...
No, he was not.
No, he wasn't. No,
right. Okay, here's a quick trivia question for you. Quick trivia. That night, Beguera scored the goal in the 85th minute. Obviously, Chris Boyd scored 5 that night. Yes?
Yes.
Who scored the other?
Oh.
What year was it, Ox?
It was, believe it or not, Linda, it was the 30th of the 12th, 2009.
God,
I must have been doing my O-levels then.
What a shocker.
Was it Nacho Novo?
Nope. Come on.
Darryl Purcell.
Nope. Oh, well gone by then, Bob.
Yeah, he was away by then.
Kenny Miller?
Kenny Miller getting red carded in the 50th minute, Linda.
Oh, wow. Kenny red carded? Couldn't have been happening.
50th minute, yes.
2009.
1, 2, 3. We scored 4 goals with 10 men, and all before the 97th minute.
Lee Wallace?
He was well, but...
Oh, no, sorry, not Lee Wallace. Lee McCulloch?
No.
No, you're ready to put us through the misery, Ox, I think.
Stephen Whitaker.
Oh, Whitaker, right.
There you go. Aye. Nearly 12 years ago. Yeah, nearly 12 years ago.
God,
that brilliant run that Whitaker did and put it in the net?
No, that was against Sporting Lisbon, Bridge.
Right, okay.
Keep up, you and Bob, dear. Come on, you're letting the side down. You're making things up now.
I think that night in Lisbon, if Ronaldo had done that, you'd have seen it yet.
Oh, it was a fabulous goal, wasn't it? Fabulous.
Oh, sensational. Who was the other scorer that night? There you go, there's my wee trivia.
John Cordashville, wasn't it?
Yes, well done, Ox. Well done.
Yes.
That was a great night.
Oh, fantastic. Right, okay, aye. Captain's leadership. We seem to have leadership. We seem to have a spirit. We're playing with skill. We've got pace back in the team. We're keeping the ball at 1 goal. We've got an upward bounce. How many adjectives, Linda?
Aye. And I think when Gio came in, obviously we keep going back to that semi-final. We're all feeling quite down, weren't we? And we were saying, God, he's got a bigger job than even we thought. I don't know if we would have expected, 6 wins and a draw. It's been an absolute dream start for him, Ox. It couldn't really have gone any better. He must be absolutely delighted himself. And as I said earlier on, that Sparta game when we won 2-0, that just gave them the platform to go on and get these other wins. And as you've said there, it's the style of football that we're playing, and we're kind of getting back to some of the really good stuff that we played, last season.
No, kind of disagree. The football, The results have been good, Bob, yeah, but the football's been good as well, yeah.
Football's been terrific. Football's been brilliant. The two shining lights for me were Tynecastle last Sunday and Motherwell. Team, then again, Gerard was still in chairs at Motherwell, but it's there. It's just getting it out there. And, you know, as I say, we've hit a level of consistency. Let's get the level higher. Let's keep winning, getting results. As long as we keep winning, there's nothing anybody can do. It's as simple as that. So each week we go out, as Bud says, the next game's the biggest game. Get out, do the business, and back in again, and go again in the next game. Can I take it anywhere else?
Do you think the game will be on at the weekend?
I don't think it will. I don't think so.
It looks like it. I think it looks like it. I'm not hearing any more apart from a lot of stuff yesterday. The days I've not heard any more positive case, driving negative stories, Linda. Yeah, where we'll be in a few days' time, I don't know, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, there was the one case where United, wasn't there, and obviously they cancelled training and they've tried to contain it. But they'll obviously be getting tested, so we might hear some more tomorrow. Because obviously we'll have the pressers as well. But hopefully it'll go ahead, because you don't want to start seeing games getting cancelled. And I know there has been a few recently. But let's hope they've contained it at United and we can still get the game to go ahead.
Well, you're talking about momentum, Linda. We've got a good bit of momentum going here. We want to continue.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I mean, all right. I mean, we're up against something that's more important than football, eh?
Yeah.
But if we can keep going and everybody can keep going, well, so much the better. So, I wish the best for the Dundee United score. I didn't want to see that happening to anybody, but I've got my doubts because I see a lot of stuff on Sky Sports News today. I think there's rumblings down in England. They're talking about not getting on the heat for a week. But the league had said that we'll keep going as long as possible. I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, with the stat socks, that if you've got 13 fit players, you can play. Is that right?
That used to be the rules, Bob Chard. What the rules are now. Especially in Scotland, they could change tomorrow, couldn't they?
Change tomorrow.
They probably will change tomorrow to make sure it goes ahead.
Quick update. There's been another goal up at Dingwall.
Oh, that's comedy gold.
I love that stuff. It's absolutely superb. Superb.
You couldn't make it up.
Oh, listen, Bob Ger. I'm quite old, and I know we shouldn't be able to make it up. But the things that have happened with that club, Scotland, is just nothing short of unbelievable. Unbelievable. The things that's been going on with that club and how they got away with it, the things that they've got away with is just unbelievable, seriously. And the authorities, no matter where they are, they always seem to get backed up all the way. Always seem to get backed up.
Regularly. There's you're not going to regularly, but that's me and your concern. So.
You know, just not that long ago, let's say 12 years ago, when they were talking about these things, these trust things that the Rangers were using, it turns out that, lo and behold, Celtic are using them.
Right.
We'll just take that and we'll rip it up. That's what they said. We'll just rip it up. We'll pay the tax man. And away they go. Wait a minute, you're just taking Rangers through shall we say, from administration into liquidation, and you're not going to do nothing Celtic. No, you're going to fine. Wrong. Just wrong, pal. Just wrong.
Well, I how wrong it was for. But at the end of the day, it's the present day. We're back on top. We're champions.
Indeed.
And keep the momentum going in the present day, we'll be champions again.
It's all about getting the next league title and look forward. And our club's going from strength to strength. With nothing under the carpet, Linda. Nothing under the carpet. Everything out in the open. Top people in charge of the club. Top people supporting the club.
Yeah. We've got confidence in the guys that are running the club and we trust them. You know, and when you think about where we were, you know, 10, 11 years ago, and, you know, and it was a long slog, it felt like that. But everything's looking good, you know, on the commercial side as well. We've got our 150th anniversary next year. Bridge was talking about New Edmondson House, that's coming along. Everything looks really positive. And if we can continue on the park, it's just, you've got the whole package. We're in a really, really good place. And as I said earlier, when the previous manager left, we wondered, right, okay, how are we getting through this? But we've come through worse, Ox, that's the thing. And we've got a good guy, haven't we, Bob? We've got a good guy in charge now. He's made a terrific start, and he's definitely going to take us on the road. And in terms of winning things, I'm really confident of that.
Well said, Linda. Well said.
I think the team over the other side of the city will be wondering how Rangers got 3 games in a row.
Enough, this is Rangers Radio. You mention them once again and you get trapped.
You know, they're going to wonder how. How did he get
it's official for Fox. You're on a double yellow. Yeah, mention them once more and you'll be gone. Right? And he says no for one night. People. For a long, long time. This is Rangers Radio, right? It's about driving us forward, Linda, and obviously revenue is important, and we are coming up to the window, but we think we're in a good place financially, according to what we've been told by the director. So we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, and I think it was quite good, the fact that you know, whilst Ross Wilson says that we don't need to sell players. I think he was asked that. And you know, Gio's been, you know, assured that we don't need to. Whether we will or not is another matter. We might need to do that, maybe even just to get some revenue in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in January. But the accounts were, you know, everything seemed to be okay, you know, when the accounts were published a couple of weeks ago, Ox. And as I said earlier, you trust the guys that are running the club. And I think that's a major thing, because we didn't trust the people that were in charge, you know, for a good few years there. We didn't know what was happening from one week to the next, you know. So, yeah, as I said, it's the directors seem to have got us on a really good footing. And, you know, we really, really appreciate that.
And also the story that broke a couple of days ago, potentially one of our ex-chairmen want to come back in, Linda. Hopefully it's a force for good, not a force for disagreement, yeah?
Yeah, I've got to say to you, you know, like probably a lot of fans, that, you know, that there's some outside noise around that we could do without. But it has to be for the good of the club, and we'll always appreciate what Mr. King did for us. But we need the harmony, and we don't want disharmony. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
I think
wait a minute, Bob, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right, mate. You carry on, mate, and then the caller can come in, mate. On you go.
I think that, just briefly, that we didn't mind regime change, but the regime change has got to be for the better. All right? The regime change has got to be for the better. I'm not saying, well, Dave King wouldn't be a regime change, but, well, would he? I don't know. But
like the team, the boardroom will always evolve. People come, people go.
People go, yes.
Yeah, we want it to be a force for good, no for division. Yeah?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Regime change for the better.
Bridgeman, do you have time to digest it?
Dave King thing?
Yeah.
He's desperate to come back, and he obviously wants to get his shares back on again. As far as I'm concerned, he's done whatever rescue work he did with his companies over in South Africa, and now he wants to be back part of Rangers, because he couldn't get his shares sold, so he's got the shares and he wants to use them, hopefully for the good of Rangers. And when he comes back in, he's let back in, and the fans say yes, or shall we say the shareholders say yes, and the fans. So it's all there. He can walk back in. I don't think he'll get back in as a chairman, but he can back in as the words you use, a force for good. Be wonderful. It'll just be wonderful. And I think
talking about people are always back for the power of good. We've been joined by Denver Bear. Evening, Denver.
Oh, Denver.
Yep.
How we doing, lassies and laddies? How we doing? All right?
Denver.
Good, Denver. How are you?
I doing well, thanks. I just want to apologise to Alfie for my rant and rave after the semi-final. I said he was done. That big Roy Mackay must have booted him right up the backside and got him squared away,
Aye, it's his run of goals. What is that? 5 and 6, I think. Without checking out.
Right,
5 and 6.
Yeah.
5 and 6. You know, and he's playing well. Denver.
There's a smile on his face as well, you know, and he's embracing everybody, you know. I was right. I was totally right with that one, you know. The footballer, you know, like the transition is incredible. How smooth it's been. It's been really unbelievable. And you know the one thing I noticed last night, after the game, I was watching Big Aribo's interview, and he's grown, he's matured, even just in this last few weeks, even just in front of the cameras, talking to the cameras. He's not that shy wee laddie anymore that he was before, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing some football, that boy, you know.
Fantastic. Aye, it happens. People get more mature. Bridgeman.
Yes, that's me. That's me. More mature.
Is that the same as vintage, Bridge?
Yes, but even more vintage than vintage.
All right, okay. Is it cheese we're talking about here?
Well, you can do both cheese and wine. Both cheese and wine. It's no fun being this age out there.
Joe Aribo, you see him maturing, mate?
Oh, Aribo's just different class. You can see it. I think he's either just turned 25 or he's going to turn 25. So, my goodness gracious, what a player. 25, my God. So, I think Rangers need to get him signed up, get his contract extended up to for another 3 years or something like that. And if you're going to get money out of him, he needs to have a good contract. But what a player. He's wonderful. The left footers are just great to watch. Just great to watch. Some of the magic touches, like the way he pulled that ball out of the air, you know, coming from about 90 feet up, you know, just incredible stuff, you know. Fabulous. And the time, with these long runs, he works well with Goldson on these things, you know. It's great. So obviously training and things as well. So if you're in trouble, get a ball to him and he'll take a couple of dribbles, see how it goes on, you know. Yeah, great player for us.
I must admit, Denver, he's been my best player this season by a mile.
Right.
Joe Aribo.
I no doubt about it. Offside, he's been the consistent. He's been right for the first game of the season. You know, he's been consistent. You know, but man, you know the maturity of that boy just in the last few weeks. He's grown and he believes in himself. He knows where he should be and all that. You know, as a Rangers player and all that, he knows what it takes now. You know, I love him to death. You know, I just love the big guy. You know, just a joy to watch. A guy you'd pay money to watch play football. You know. Tell you what, Ox, I was thinking about coming out to see the Dortmund game, but I don't know whether I'm going to get there because of all this COVID nonsense. You know.
Mm-hmm, I understand, mate.
That'll be 2 years coming up since we were at the Braga game. Remember with the rain daft game and who was it played? Livingston,
aye.
Aye. So I was thinking, my boy's going to turn 21. So I was thinking about maybe if we can get this COVID thing squared away, I'll do that for his 21st birthday. You know, I'll take him out for the Dortmund game, and then I think we play Motherwell at him on Sunday. So that's the plan at the moment. You know.
Okay, mate. Keep in contact, yeah?
No bother.
What I'll do is I'll phone Gio tomorrow and see if I can get you in the dugout.
Excellent, aye, that'll work, aye. With the big Colorado flag and all that.
But aye. Listen, mate, obviously everything's and potentially things could be changing, but hopefully we get a better looking society, mate, and things don't go as bad as we all think, yeah?
Aye. You know, I just thought nothing's going to change, Ox. You know, I mean, masks don't work. Obviously, you know, like the shots and all that don't work either. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, they're just going to have to live with it. But anyway, this is not about a COVID programme. That's almost as bad as Bridgeman we sell it for.
Have you noticed as well? Denver? So's Fox.
I'm 5,000 miles away and all I hear is Celtic radio, you know. Bridge, you get a grip with yourself, man.
You're a shocker from Denver, a shocker.
You're getting it tight tonight, old pal.
Fox is writing out his P45s. He's got 4 zeros on it so far.
He's out of written warnings, Name of written warnings.
He said a few. Trust me. Back in the day, a few of them in his time to do a Bridgeman. Is that correct, Mr.
Yeah, I've still got some in my pocket to pay.
I did hear a story once concerning welding cable, but that's another story, Bridgeman.
I'm not going to talk about that ever again. That could come back and haunt me.
Yes. Anyway, Denver, we're all happy. We're playing good stuff. What's your honest opinion of what the manager's done?
You know, like when you see him talking, he's like a student of the game, like a professor. You know, he's a deep thinker. You know, and he's obviously taking on all the knowledge for all the different clubs, the big clubs, and he's international experience, man. He's going to take us great places, I'll tell you. I'm so excited about it. I mean, just after, 7 games? And the place we're in already is incredible. And, you know, it's obvious, I think it's obvious it's down to Stevie G and his team who have, you know, messed up. Because they boys were such great players last year. And all of a sudden, you don't become bad players, you know.
Obviously, Giovanni, you see him, he's focused and all that. But away from the game, I mean, like the day Linda, he was surrounded with 3 blonde bimbos, you know.
And and I tell you, Denver, he was very nice to us.
Well, you wanted the blonde bimbos, Linda.
Well,
I didn't hear this one. I need to hear more about it.
Well, I'll say blonde. I'm not signing up for the bimbo part.
You know, Linda, just take the compliment. Just take the compliment when it's given, Linda. For goodness sake. You never know when the next one's coming your way.
He was happy to pose for a photograph, and he apologised because he had to keep his mask on. But we weren't bothered. It was really great. It made our day. It made our lunch. It was great.
What was the event, Linda? Where were you?
I was in town for lunch, and as I said, he just appeared in front of our table, and we were all just starstruck. So it was very, yeah. And we asked for a photograph, and he obliged, and we were delighted.
Don't be fooled. Giovanni walked to her and said, "Are you Linda for Rangers Radio?"
And Linda says, "Stop stalking me, will you?"
I know. I have been known. It was wonderful.
Right, so he's doing a fantastic job, Giovanni. For far, is it? Are you picking up any headlines elsewhere, Denver? We're losing Denver. Is it just me, Linda?
He's breaking up a wee bit.
Oh, you're breaking up, Denver. You're breaking up, mate. We've lost Denver. Shame that. Always great when Denver's on, Bob Gerra.
Oh, brilliant. It's great to hear from him. It just shows you how far and wide your support goes. He's an ex-part, obviously, the boy, but he's a regular on here, and his part's brilliant. Really good. Everybody's great on here. That's what I think. That's my take on you, so. There you go. They're an early Christmas. The only woman that folded me about was when my granny threw me on the tatty van. But never mind.
Oh, dear. Right, Bob, how turning our attention to Saturday? Are you making any changes?
No, really. The thing's gone well, as it is. And the back 4 will stay the same. I would go with the same lineup again. Yeah. Again, if he's wanting a wee tweak, he could maybe put Scott Wright in there or bring Sakala back in. I don't know, but no, I wouldn't make many changes. No.
Linda?
No, I agree with Bob. I don't think he will, but if there was one maybe wee change, I would say maybe Hadji just on the bench and maybe have Sakala in there, but because it's a similar game, Ox, and not a lot of space in terms of them defending, he might stick with Hadji, but I would like to see Sakala get a start.
Thoughts, Bridge?
I hope that the team for the weekend is the same team as we've got to do. It started last night. I think they were really good and let them go on with it. And the same squad, in fact. Obviously, injuries willing, you know. I'd be quite happy with that. I think we're playing very well. It gives us we know there's firepower sitting in the bench, and I really and truly just go on with it. Go out there and show them what to do. I don't know what their coaches know about Dundee United, but I would just play the same way as we played against St Johnstone. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Bob Chia, we've reached that time of the evening. Thanks very much.
Surely no.
All right, we've reached that time of the evening. And...
Is that referee blue for full time yet?
Yes, but there's a message from Mr. S. Skipper.
Yes.
If there's any truth that Gio asked if Linda could get on Bridgeman's autograph.
Oh, well.
Of course he did, Bridge. Of course he did.
Shocker.
Right, it's over to you, Linda. That 2 hours have been and gone.
Oh, look, a great night, Ox. Really enjoyed being on. Lots of great chat, lots of good humour, as it always is in Rangers Radio. So thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Apologise to your 2 friends for me calling them bimbos.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that might not have been down well, but never mind. All in good fun.
Yes. Over to you, Bridge.
Oh, what can I say? Marvellous night, Oxford. Fantastic night. Really enjoyed it. And as Linda says, some great chat. Marvellous chat. And welcome. Thank you very much, Linda, for being my partner for tonight and seeing me through this. And can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, please, massive game coming up weekend. Massive game. Biggest game of the season. Everybody, keep it going for the Rangers. And think about the Rangers all the time. Keep it going.
Can I thank all David who joined us? Of course, Denver Byrne, the one and only Bob Chia. Thanks to Lyndon and Bridgeman for coming on the show, and of course Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks for listening. Thanks to the guys who helped support the selection box appeal and the person who organised it all for Rangers Radio. We really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. We'll be joined by the one and only JFK. Please stay safe, look after yourself, and as we build up to another victory on Saturday, take it away, Old School Blue.
Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. Won't you come and cheer us? Help the boys along. White and blue, coming through with a song. Oh, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. We'll be there to do it, Rangers. we can win the cup, hold it up in our hands. Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay.